call the April the 19th, 2012 meeting of the Farragut Municipal Planning Commission to order, please. Going to start the citizens forum tonight, and I've asked Gary if he will at this time give us just a quick update on how the comprehensive land use plan is going.
Let's flip back over. If that's simple enough. Evening. Thank you, Madam Chairman. As everybody knows, we had our focus group meetings a couple weeks ago. Went very well. Winston Associates came into town, conducted just a round robin of meetings, 2 exhaustive days. Turnout could have been a little better. I was hoping for more, but we had very productive meetings. They took all the information back, digested it, and we spoke this week at a little conference call, myself and Winston and they came back with really three different areas that they wanted to focus on. And in our discussions, we talked about how the upcoming community dialogue session, May 8th, was going to go logistically. And as we've been putting out these announcements, on May 8th, we're going to have our first community dialogue session, our first of 2, which are going to be open to the public. The public meeting is scheduled for May 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. However, in our discussions, we talked about adding some more onto that. And we talked about a little bit about how we're going to try to engage the youth and the community through the schools. Some of the issues we would have to deal with that would be, do they come here, do we go there? So we're going to deal with that and try to engage them in a separate forum, maybe on the 9th. We're not sure yet, but May 8th, 6 to 8 is the public meeting. We're hoping everybody comes out and gets involved. I think it'll be a very cool 3D on-the-fly build where Winston is going to have a program set up here in the boardroom, and up on the screen they're going to be able to take suggestions from the community on certain areas that we're going to focus on designing and throw things up on kind of a quasi-GIS system, 3-dimensional, see what it looks like, move things around, and as the leadership team or the interview team knows, when they presented their interview, they showed us that. It was very exciting. I thought it was a great tool. It's analogous to the charrette process, however, you don't get the instant gratification you do with the 3D. The charrette, they have to kind of break it up into different groups. You take little handmade things and try to design it, a little mock-up. And while that's great, it's hard for everybody else to see it. We can't project it to the rest of the community. So that'll be part of that whole community dialogue session. We're also going to have during the day, we've added 2 separate kind of mini academy work sessions. And I'll throw, we just did a public release on it yesterday. And we're going to do invites for this. For me, it's important, I think, for internally for the town staff, the planning commission, the board, people who are actually going to be doing the policy making and policy recommendation making on land use to be involved in this process, as well as the community. So these are all public forums as well. And the first development academy we're calling right now is going to be at 8:30. We're going to focus on the downtown district, and we're going to do a 3D design there. We're going to mock that up, build it out, take suggestions, get all this stuff down so they can take it back and digest it. And the following that is going to be a 1:30 meeting, and that's going to focus on the historic resources of the town, identifying those resources, getting suggestions again from the community, from the policy makers and the policy recommendation makers to figure out how we're going to build that up. So I think those will be 2 great additions to that May 8th meeting. I'm looking forward to it. It's an exciting process. I've never been involved in the 3-dimensional aspect, and I think that if we really push this, and I'm hoping the planning commission, the board, everybody else involved really pushes that May 8th date and gets people here. We're going to try to. Sue's been great in helping us get the word out, her staff. We're going to try to piggyback on the Bob fishing rodeo and do some advertisement there because it's the weekend beforehand and try to get some folks out. So pass along to your neighbors. Still have those cards left. Give them to them directly to that Farragut2025.com. Has all the information on there. They can interact digitally. And again, that's the first of 2 community dialogue sessions. Very important. May 8th. The second one is going to be in June. Haven't really hammered out the date yet, but once we do, we'll get that pushed out. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer. I think most of the folks on the planning commission are on the leadership team, so, on the board, so, if anybody else have any questions, I can answer for you.
They're gonna have more people here this next time.
We're hoping,
I mean, the Winston.
Oh, okay, yeah, short of going and pulling people out of their houses, yeah, they're gonna have Jeff and Paul, who came out last time, and they're also gonna have Nora Winter, I think his last name is. He's the historical expert, and he's gonna be doing that development group, and also doing the evening meeting with the historical stuff. And also, I can't remember the guy's last name, Chase, I think his first name. He's gonna be the one behind the computer doing the 3D, you know, the guy behind the guy doing background stuff, so, yeah, they'll be out here for, I think, 3 days. We're gonna do a lot of work on those 3 days. Second day, focus really hard on the public stuff. The other 2 days, we're gonna focus on just getting ready for it, and then taking the material and sitting down and crunching.
Gary, have you had a lot of response at all from the website?
There's been a little traffic. I asked that exact question. I think it initially we got a lot of response. It's just, it died off really quick. Again, I mean, we're racking our brains on how to get people here, and you know, I don't know what else we can do. So we're just hoping for a good turnout. And again, I think if we can, one of the best focus groups we had that day was a group of 7 juniors from high school came over, and you know, they got on what they call a geosticky on the computer, and actually it's a jazz program where they can actually they can come up with ideas and place them, and actually zoom in on them, zoom out and see. And they came up with some great ideas, and I think it's definitely a resource we need to tap into. And hopefully we can get the teachers on board. I'm trying to get some communication going with the government classes over there at the high school, and we're gonna keep pushing, so we'll try to work that out.
I'd like to help with that too, my son's.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And everybody, please, everybody you see, invite them to come and tell them how important this is for the future of Farragut.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Anybody else have any questions, comments that do not relate to the items on the agenda tonight? In that case, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Do we have any changes, comments?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item number 3 is discussion and public hearing on the re-subdivision of parcel 92 and 92.01, tax map 143, located on the south side of Grigsby Chapel Road across from Ramsgate subdivision, zoned R-1, 2.7 acres to move an interior lot property line and a variance request from requirements to construct a sidewalk on the Grigsby Chapel Road. David Boat, applicant.
This property is located on Grigsby Chapel Road as the description defined, and it is an example of a flag lot. This being the flag portion, this being the rear lot, and here's the other lot. They are moving an interior property line right here from this location to this location. And the purpose for this move is they will be adding solar panels as a freestanding accessory structure in order to meet the setback requirements because of the vegetation that's in the vicinity. See, here's the vegetation that, this is the area that need to place their solar panels in order to get the optimal location for it. As is standard practice, whenever we have a minor subdivision like this, staff supports variance requests because they are not creating new infrastructure as part of this subdivision. So we are recommending approval of their variance request because the expense of the construction isn't warranted with the level of the subdivision is. They have added a sidewalk walk easement. We've asked for a little bit more clarification on the sidewalk easement. part of the plat, but they have agreed to add that. So we are recommending that the variance request be granted, because this is a minor re-subdivision which does not warrant the expense of construction of a walking trail or sidewalk at this time. And with regards to the subdivision plat, we are recommending approval of the plat, subject to labeling the stream and modifying the aquatic buffer, adding a graphic scale, clarifying the sidewalk easement, and obtaining the appropriate signatures. Mr. Bolt is here.
Come up to the microphone over there, please. And if you would, give us your name and address, and if you would, spell your name for us.
David Bolt, B-O-L-T, live at 11614 Crispy Chapel Road.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Bolt? One thing I'd like to ask you about, I understand you recently had an honor. And will you tell us a little bit about that and where you went to receive this honor?
Well, Devin asked me if I would receive a call from the White House earlier last week. I go, really? I was actually had won an award from the White House, Champion of Change for Corporate Sustainability. So there were 8 people chosen. Actually went to the White House last week.
Quite an honor, quite an honor.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions about either his trip and or? Did you get your picture taken with the president?
No, I didn't.
Mr. Ball, first of all, just more of an interest in solar than anything else, but how large of a array, if array is the correct terminology, are you installing on your site?
Approximately 5K.
Dimension-wise, what's that typical of?
Approximately 500 square feet.
That's it? Just 25 by 25, less than that, really?
Right.
Okay, it's pretty small. Well, do you anticipate that's, what of your power consumption do you think that
That
will?
should cover all of it.
Really? Okay.
We basically put solar on all of our houses and it's covered bills on all of them.
Sell any back to TVA?
It all gets sold back. There's actually a separate meter, and so everything that we produce gets sold. And when we get our bill, we get a negative sign for everything we produced, and then we get paid for whatever we use.
I tell you, you've done this on different residential levels, and it sounds like you incorporate the honor that you received on some, I guess, larger level as well.
Okay, we do it both for commercial and residential houses. For example, our building facility, we actually make about $700 a month on our utility bill.
So you're actually in the business of installing the solar?
Correct, that's why I've done so many.
Okay, that makes sense. But filling in the gaps, I appreciate it.
Some of you are aware of the Campbell Creek subdivision that's on North Campbell Station Road, north of the interstate. David it was his staff that installed as part of their energy study and everything, with the 3 houses, one being just a regular house, one being a retrofit, and one being a design for the high energy efficiency. And David worked with Mike Rhodes on that a few years back, and Jeff Christian.
And TVA.
I actually remember there was I think it was Jeff Christian that actually came in and did a presentation here in this room a few years back.
Yeah, we did.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, we did I can't remember what Super Bowl's Talk of the Town or whatever that is on Town Forum, something like that, and Jeff Christian was the speaker.
All your panels will be ground mounted, I take it. They're
Right,
gonna
so
come
all now.
on post, okay.
Anybody else have any questions? I have a motion.
So moved.
We need the
What's up?
variant, we probably need the variant separate from the actual motion plat.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance request from the requirement to build sidewalks. That's the variance that we're looking for tonight. Is that right, Rick? Or Mr. Moulton?
The whole area, I mean, it's a fairly long area where there's no sidewalk.
On that side, there is, what did I put in the packet, it's like 1,100 or 1,200 feet. That's on the south side. It does not have sidewalks, 1,100 feet. and this is 235 feet of road frontage through that area. Just as a standard practice, we usually try to keep a nexus between what you're doing and for a minor subdivision, it really does not warrant the cost for the construction of the sidewalk.
Any questions? Let's rephrase that motion again, if you will, for the variance.
I'll be happy to. I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Bolt's variance request from the requirements to build sidewalks.
Do you have a second?
I'll say.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to the second part. Move to approve the subdivision plat subject to the staff's recommendations.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll have to see if we can't get him back here sometime to give us a little more information.
Ruth, at what point in the future do you think we'll have maybe some numbers back from the McPhee Road? I know we had a little hiccup with the hailstorm, but with our solar panels at the McPhee Road Park, it'd be kind of interesting to see.
I know.
I mean, what kind of power are those panels? I know that was kind of a pilot project for the town that we invested some money in. Might be interesting at some point in the future to kind of hear about how those panels are performing.
Sue, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't, not tonight, it's not, I'm sorry, Sue, I didn't
No,
mean
that's all right.
I'm not trying to catch you off guard, I just thought it'd be kind of interesting, to just kind of share with the community.
She fears we better take full advantage of her and having that knowledge.
I'll leave it up to our chairwoman.
You want to,
I can do it really quick.
I'm sure Sue is up and has those numbers in her head all the time.
No, we just did it, so that's I have for 10 months, costs, we have some costs before that, but they, aren't equal yet. We have some various ways of it being reported. We were first getting it as a revenue stream, now it's just as a credit, like you said, on our bill. We're at, for the 10 months, March through December, we're at 53% that we're recouping. And I expect that to get better next year, because we've had some problems with heating and the louvers at the restroom buildings in the new, and this is 53% of the new section, phase 2.
I guess when you're using 53%, it means that we are producing 53% of the power that we're consuming.
We are recouping 53% of our cost,
Okay.
so far.
That includes every facility there that's.
No, just in phase 2, so that's beyond the athletic field lights. It's the parking lot lights, the playground lights, the splash pad, the
All
restroom.
the lighting and everything.
All the lighting up on that part of it, yes, the splash pad and all that, and I do expect that it will actually get a little bit better, so, and we had a little bit of downtime because of the hailstorm, we had some crash, there, but, so, we're at 53, we hope to go up, but that's actually better than what we had actually thought we would get, so.
Can you put that into just average dollars per month, or what do you think?
That I don't remember.
Okay, that's right.
It varies, I mean, we had an electric bill because of the louver problem at $2,200, last February.
Heater got stuck on or something.
Right, so, but normally it ranges between $300 to $600, give or take. So, but I can give you all that in a nice spreadsheet sheet when we get through the first year, so.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, Sue.
Move on to item number 4, discussion and public hearing on the subdivision of parcel 109, tax map 143, located on the east side of North Campbell Station Road across from the Old Colony Parkway. Zone 4-1, 15.517 acres, to create a second lot and a variance request from open space reservation requirements. Howard Dawson, applicant.
This property is located across from Old Colony. Here's Campbell Station Road. being Old Colony. And what they are doing is subdividing out a parcel right here. There is a house on the site here, a house here, and a house here. As you are familiar, this is the Coker family, and they are subdividing out another parcel so that they can build another house for a child. They are going to have enough acreage that they will retain their 15 acres in the green belt, and they really do not plan on developing at this time. They just want to cut out that parcel to accommodate another house. The access to this parcel will be to this shared access easement right here, so there will not be another curb cut to Campbell Station Road, and they have added a plat note stating that upon development of this property, or subdivision of the property, that they will designate the 1.5517 acres as open space. There are some areas on the property that likely would in the future designated because there's a creek that runs through here. There's a fairly significant drainage ditch that runs through this area here. But at this point in time, because they don't plan on developing it, they don't feel comfortable designating it. Staff does recommend approval of the variance request because they have added that plat note so that when it develops in the future, they will be providing that. With regards to the subdivision plat itself, staff recommends approval of the subdivision plat, subject to the title block indicating North Campbell Station Road clarification, showing and labeling the aquatic buffer and obtaining the appropriate signatures.
Is anyone with the applicant here? Anyone have any questions? Ruth can answer for us. In that case, we also again have two motions here. First, to approve the variance request. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Now we have the motion to approve the subdivision plat, subject to the staff's recommendation.
Move to approve, subject to the motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Who seconded both of those motions?
Next, we are moving on to the discussion and public hearing on the fiscal year 2012 through 2016 capital investment plan. Gary Palmer is again going to do this for us.
Evening. You all should have a copy of this presentation. You received some nice little forms that you printed out 15 minutes ago. Not a whole lot has changed from last year. We made a couple additions, a couple modifications, some projects that had not come around. We've reallocated or reprioritized. You'll see that in one of the spreadsheets. What I'd like to do is just go through the presentation slides, kind of talk about the projects a little bit, and then have a question and answer session at the end, if that's okay, Madam Chair. This is a very familiar project. This has been ongoing for several years. I think it started the year before I got here, so that would have been 05. And Watt Road, Old Stage Road Improvements, this is an 80-20 project between us and the Tennessee Department of Transportation. They are the lead agency, and we are basically running checks on this and acquiring right-of-way. The right-of-way acquisition phase is about complete, if it isn't already. I know there were a couple of stragglers at the end that we're trying to work out, so I think that's being handled. And the big price tag on this, however, our cost in this is 20%, which is $818,400. So we're looking to allocate that amount. Actually, the amount we're looking to allocate for fiscal year 2013 is $3,647,400, and once it's all said and done, after reimbursements, will be $818,400. Another project that's over with, but we're still anticipating closeout invoices. This is the Campbell Station Road widening, which was completed 2 years ago, I guess, a year and a half ago. And we're looking to allocate $50,000 for fiscal year 2013 for this project. We may or may not receive anything, but history has shown that we typically receive some invoices well after the project's closed out, so we just want to anticipate that. This is new, something that we have been trying to address without doing a big capital expenditure. This is located exactly where that map shows, right across Maker Park, down a little bit on Turkey Creek Road. Everybody's probably familiar with this area. I took that picture on the 23rd of March, so that's probably what it looks like today. It's getting worse, and we need to do something about it. We're probably going to propose to lay that slope back. I think we have enough room to do that, and we need to start working on negotiations with how we're going to do it logistically with property owners, so we can make sure everybody's concerns are addressed. But we're looking to allocate $75,000 for that for fiscal year 2013, and we believe that that should take care of that, provided we don't have to build each wall, a retaining wall, which I think would look great, but it would cost money. This is another project from last year. It's the outdoor classroom, which is a great project. Jason Scott, our stormwater coordinator, actually went out and grabbed this project, really ran with it with the Stormwater Advisory Committee, and I believe the Planning Commission. And went and applied for and received a very small grant award of $10,000, which was just enough for us not to say no, and really not enough to do anything with. But the total cost of the project we're looking at right around $235,000. It's still one of these projects that we're still trying to hammer out. It's a piece of property located over the high school entrance, and large vacant piece of property. When they did the Campbell Station Road widening, I don't know if they did a whole lot of grading on it, but they reseeded it, and it's wide open right now. And one time, I believe, the town wanted to put a pocket park in there, I don't know where that was. We still have active plans on that, and I believe the board wants to do something with this piece of property, beautify that corner and that corridor, and I think we're trying to marry those two together. We want to have the outdoor classroom elements, and also have some elements, some beautification elements out there as well. So we're trying to hammer that out. We think we can get this thing worked out this year. So we're reallocating the money for 2013 and 14. With 2013, $100,000, and 2014, $135,000. And another slide here that kind of shows some of the elements. On the left is kind of just a wide view orientation here. If you say up at the top of the screen, that would be the high school entrance, running left to right. So that structure there is, the blow up on the right hand side is that upper structure, which is the actual outdoor classroom. I think the idea that Jason had, and I think is a great idea, is to actually have the same ability to conduct your class out in this classroom as you would back in the high school or the grade school or whatever school wants to use it. We're trying to keep it low maintenance. We certainly don't want to burden any more of the already overburdened park staff with maintaining this. So the materials we're looking to use and the building structure we're looking to put in there, we're trying to work it out where we really don't have to maintain, or work out some sort of agreement with the schools where we could share maintenance, or they can maintain it. Again, these are some things that logistically need to be worked out concurrent with the planning process. So it's a great project. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be great for the town and great for the schools. And I think it really will put us on the map with some of the great initiatives that are going on around the nation. And here are just some talking points I had at our board workshop. And I'll leave you. It's in the hard copy, so if you want to read through that. Another ongoing project, Rickety Chapel Road Island improvements. We allocated $25,000 last year for same thing, rehab, replantings, maintenance, and it's going to be an ongoing project, at least at least for the next year, 2013, so we're looking to reallocate $25,000 for that project, for the same thing, to try to get these things beautified up to a high standard. This is a partial mandate and a partial contract requirement. The 2009 TCD, which the Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which is published by the Department of Transportation, they give states a certain amount of time to adopt these provisions. So Tennessee just adopted the 2009 MUTCD, and we are required as a local government to adopt these standards within 2 years of the TDOT adoption. So we've got 2 years from about a month and a half, 2 months ago to get these implemented. And the mandate for this will be the countdown timers. You can see that on the upper right-hand corner. I think everybody's familiar with these. I didn't know they were going to be mandated. I don't know the reason behind it, but you know they're requiring them. We have to put them in. And I've got a breakdown of the numbers on the next slide, but I want to talk about the other things first. The second one, which is a contract requirement that we have with Rural Metro for fire services, are the preemption devices. And those are basically the radio controlled devices. If you look at the lower right-hand corner, they're mounted on top of the crossbars, and either they can either signal by radio wave or by noise the actual signal, so it'll green through their through lane and red all the other intersections, or all the other lanes of the intersection, so it'll get them up through on that. We're looking to allocate for another one is the crosswalks. We have some areas that we need to put some crosswalks in. I don't know if offhand if that's an MATC requirement, but it's, I guess, common sense that we want to do that. So we're looking to allocate $160,000 for these 3 items for fiscal year 2013, and here's a breakdown. So we're looking at 72 replacement timers and 20 new timers, and then preemption signals we're looking at 4 intersections. So it's not cheap, but necessary. This is fairly new. I'm assuming the Planning Commission is all familiar with the Concord Road improvements that, I don't know when they came through Planning Commission on this, if you know offhand, but in looking at what we failed to do in my mind, on Campbell Station Road was address a lighting issue on the front end. We want to make sure we at least have a conversation, bring this up and discuss it thoroughly before this project goes on this one. So this is added in there for budgeting and planning purposes. I firmly believe we need to add some higher quality lighting. I don't particularly like the lighting that's installed over on Campbell Station Road Extension. That's exactly what they'll put in over on Concord Road. So if we don't add some money to this and get the quality lighting we want, then we're stuck with what they give us. So this is we're looking at budget, and these are rough numbers, and probably hopefully overestimated, but we're looking at $400,000 for fiscal year 2013 because we have to have this money in place before they let the project. It'd be transferred through the local government investment pool and over to TDOT when the project lets. So we have to have the money in there. I don't.
State project.
State project, yes, sir.
Do you have any idea what the final total cost would be?
Offhand there, I do not. I can find out that information and get it back to the Planning Commission. I'll certainly have it for the board, but.
Probably on the TPO record. I'll take a look at that.
Okay, and I'll get the information together and get it out to the Planning Commission board for, I mean, I added this tonight because this was just talked about yesterday. You know, we're looking to try to avoid the same mistake we made before, but you know, I want to make sure that we